garlic sriracha tri-tip sandwich. Add a little caramelized onions, bell pepper, and of course some smoked Gouda cheese. And you make this one, and you're gonna thank me later. So if you're one of my dedicated subscribers, you've probably already seen how I cook this tri-tip in my last video all about the cold grate technique. If you'd like to skip ahead, you can go to this point in the video and we'll get past it. Now if you're new or you want to learn more about the cold grate technique, then I'm going to link to that video at the end that goes through it step by step and why I do it. To start off, I dry brine the tri-tip with a half teaspoon of salt per pound of tri-tip. What this will do is get the salt deep into the meat and intensify the beef flavor. You're going to go put it in the fridge overnight, and it really needs to be 24 hours to make this work. Set up your grill to cook at 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Now you can do that however you want, but for me, that means a dozen briquettes with a few unlit ones to keep it going for the hour of the cook. Put the tri-tip opposite the coals and wrap a head of garlic in aluminum foil, so we're going to roast that for our sandwich later. Once it's reached 90 degrees internal temperature, it's time to flip it over, and let's check the garlic. You're going to know it's done when it's too hot to hold and it's a little bit soft. Yeah, about like that. So let's use some tongs this time. Once it reaches 120 degrees internal temperature, you put an entire chimney of charcoal on the one side to get it ready for the sear zone. We're going to sear it twice for 1 minute each on each side for a total of 4 minutes. Each time you flip it over, you put it on the cold side, rotate it around right over the coals, and this produces a really good crust. And since tri-tip is a funny shaped meat, you put it on the side for another 30 seconds to make sure it all gets seared. Once it's done, you take it off and let it rest for 15 minutes. Now that the sear zone has cooled off a little bit, we're going to take a bell pepper and put it right over the coals, and this will blacken the skin, make it easy to remove, and it'll give us a real nice thing to put in our sandwich later. Now take that full head of garlic and squeeze it into about a third a stick of butter, and you're going to mix it all together. You want to make sure that the garlic is cool already, otherwise it's going to melt the butter and make a big mess. Spread that garlic butter all over the bottom of 2 pieces of bread, just like you're making a grilled cheese sandwich. Now we preheated the grill for 350 for about 10 minutes and throw it on this pizza pan so we can get it nice and golden brown. Then you throw on a little bit of smoked Gouda cheese. I smoked that myself, and you want to check out that video, check out the iCard. Now once the cheese is good and melted, it's going to be time to take it off, and it should be golden brown. You need to be careful not to burn this, because if you get black garlic, it's gonna be gross. Finally, we're going to make a garlic sriracha aioli. Just kidding, it's mayonnaise, sriracha, and whatever else of the garlic that you can squeeze out of that head. Mix it all together, and we're going to put it on the sandwich. The tri-tip is a really tricky piece of meat to cut because the grain goes in a bunch of different directions, and so I found that if you cut it about in half where you see it change, then you can slice it up against the grain and get the perfect piece no matter which part you're cutting from. So now we're going to put it all together. First thing that you do is you take your 2 slices of bread and get that awesome Sriracha garlic mayo. This gives it a lot of flavor and kicks it up a notch. If you don't like spicy, you don't have to put very much sriracha in there, or even none at all, and it'll still come out good with just the garlic. Then, the star of the show, we got to put the meat in here. Tri-tip, it's good medium rare to medium, depending on how you like it. Hopefully nobody with you likes it well done. Then the caramelized onions, which give it a really nice flavor, good sweetness too. It's one of my favorite things. I'm glad that I added this into the sandwich. Now I've got that roasted bell pepper. Smack that right on top. Rather than doing little pieces, I do one big one, so you make sure you can get a good bite and it doesn't slide out of your sandwich when you're eating it. Then we top it with a little bit of lettuce. Put a lid on it. And we've got ourselves a sandwich. This one is fantastic. I can't wait to get my hands on it. And all these flavors go together really well. You've got the sweetness from the onions, beefy flavor from the tri-tip. Now, I don't know why you're watching this video. You should stop what you're doing and go and make this sandwich. Come back, put your comments down below and how it went, and enjoy.